do it live. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F*** it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru. This is take two. Had some technical difficulties. I don't know what the heck happened there. My apologies to everybody that got a little wonky there. I blame Chris. We're just gonna blame Chris.
It was my fault.
Tonight I am joined by the SuperNintenDad. Chris, what is up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. Good. How are you doing tonight?
I am well. I'm getting a little nervous because the stream just seems to be acting real wonky, and it's making me. So everybody, if you guys can let me know in chat if it's just me, what I'm seeing. I keep seeing like a wheel spinning, and I'm not sure if there's something wrong with anything. So if there is, just let me know, and then I will scream and shout and try to figure out how to fix this. It's showing on my end, and I'm streaming in like it's throwing out what it needs to, but this is the problem with being live. Sometimes it gets real goofy, and I think it's probably on YouTube's end. So if I have to, I will switch over to Twitch, because I just don't care. I'm not going to sit here and deal with nonsense all night. So anyway, that aside, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
other than freaking out, I'm just you know what? It's this weird thing that happens. When it's live and you know there's things that could be happening. Like I'm trying to run the show from behind the scenes, but I'm also trying to talk to you. So it's a little thing. It's weird. Anyway, enough of this stupid stuff. It is what it is. The show is what it is. So what have you been up to today? Anything good?
Yeah, just hanging out, playing some games.
Anything good?
I was playing Marble It Up. Came out today on the eShop. It's kind of like Marble Blast Ultra from the 360.
Marble Blast. Oh, what?
Marble.
Oh,
yeah,
Marble.
Like,
Marble. I thought it was Marvel. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh no, it's not a Marble game. Yeah, so it's basically just different levels. You're rolling around as a marble, and you gotta get to the end.
Kind of like Marble Madness a little bit, like back in the day.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got to talk to me like past tense, man. You can't talk to me in today's current world. I don't. I can't relate.
Well,
to
I mean, if you think about it, that game probably came out 10 years ago.
This is true. I think there's you know what? It's a train wreck. What is? Oh, there's someone trying to spam the chat. My moderators are like kicking me, or like doing stuff on the thing. Pat, get yourself under control over there, Pat. You're messing things up. It's horrible. Anyway, so Chris, here's the thing. Real quickly, yes. What is it exactly you do on the interwebs? Let the people here know. Like, what is it that you know, other than your Twitter handle, that everybody definitely has to know because you're all over the place with that. But I know you do a couple other things.
Yeah, I had some kids, so I did that. That's how I got the name. And yeah, I make some YouTube videos. I stream on Twitch sometimes, and I got a podcast with it's a Nintendo Entertainment Show.
Okay. So as far as like your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, let people know like where they can find. Is everything Super NintenDad across the board?
Yeah, SuperNintenDad across the board, I think.
So you can. I had the link for Twitch in the descriptions, so you guys could check that stuff out. So it's it is what it is. But my question for you is, where did the name come from? Because it's my buddy Sean Capri here. We do a lot of stuff together. I told him, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna have and I had Super Nintendad on my show, and he's like, "Dude, that is the greatest name." So, like, where does that come from? Where did you come up with that idea?
Well, back on the IGN board, I was Captain N because I like that stupid show. But then
it was a great show. Don't undersell that.
yeah, that's true. But so I like that, and then I went on. I would always have like a Captain N pretty much everywhere, and then I had some kids, and then I was thinking about a Nintendo related name, and first I came up with NintenDad, and then NintenDad 64, and then I thought, you know what, I think I like Super NintenDad better.
See, NintenDad 64 might have been good, because my only question is have you played Mario 64?
Oh yeah, I'm not Josh.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you should steal that moniker, in my opinion. I think that we should retire N64 Josh, and you should. Man, I was getting ready to go live, and they dropped that knowledge on me, and I was just like, dude, you can't tell me like 2 minutes before we go live that you've never played Mario 64. Like, what is going on in this world right now?
Yeah, he's never, and then now he's playing it through now, but
Yeah.
I still don't think he's beaten it.
But it's not the same now. Like,
Oh,
it's a steaming pile now, I feel. Like, it's, okay, it's a good game. The controls, the cameras are horrible. Like, it's so hard, in my opinion, to go back to that game after there's been so much distance put in it. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely need some remastering done to that game, I feel. Like, it makes me laugh that they remastered Ocarina and Majora's, but didn't even touch Mario 64. Like, they just...
Right. You could play it on the DS if you wanted.
Yeah, but that's still not...
kind of a step down.
Yeah, it's definitely a step down. So, I like to ask these 3 questions before I get into the gist of things, just to see where things go. Your first Nintendo console, what was that?
The NES.
The NES. How did you acquire such a thing as the NES?
Well, I never knew what video games were until I went to my grandmother's house, and my cousins were over there. They had the Master System, and they had like the bear. It was kind of like Duck Hunt, but it was like bear hunting game.
So time out.
Yeah.
So they had the worst console in the world, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well,
I'm being joking, but honestly, my opinion was Master System was a fantastic console. It just did not do well at all. But it was, and I felt like they moved on rather quickly from that one.
Yeah, they did.
You know, and jumped into the Genesis. But go ahead. I'm sorry to derail you.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah. So from there I went, and then I discovered that video games were a thing, and I decided I wanted them in my life. So for Christmas we asked for the NES, and it came with the Duck Hunt or not Duck Hunt and Mario.
Okay.
I think. And so we got that, and then luckily the store down the street from my house rented NES games, so that's
a win. That's a win all day long. I mean, that's how it was for me too. Like, I had a movie rental store that actually started renting Nintendo games back in the day, and Friday nights, my dad would go down. We would go down to the there was a local pizza parlor down at the corner. My dad would walk in, place his order. It'd be about 40 minutes before we could get the pizza because it was always busy on Friday nights. And then he'd be like, all right, boys, let's go down to the video store. And we would walk around the video store, and he would tell us to pick a movie out. And then we would try to con him to let us also rent a game, too. And 9 times out of 10, he'd be like, okay, get the game. Because back when I was a kid, we weren't allowed to watch movies that had, like, you know... The language really wasn't necessarily a bad thing. The nudity or sex was the problem. And so...
And you were always picking movies behind the curtain.
I was trying to get in there, and I was always getting shot down. That was, the way art, see, the curtain for us was beads. So if you walk through, it makes all this noise, and it's like, wow, you're making it very difficult for me to walk in there. I don't want to go in there. Not going to happen. That was always the most awkward thing. It's going to derail into this. I can feel this conversation going to derail. That was the most awkward creation anybody ever came up with. Like, who does this? Who goes, okay, we're going to... I mean, I understand you have to do something different. The one thing my store did was they had these counters that were like, this is messed up. This is a messed up conversation we having. It was chest, but it's funny. It was chest high, right? And they had these binders. And you would pull the binders out, and you would flip through them. And then you would write the number down and take it to the front counter. And then they would pull the movie and go, here you go. This is what you're getting. I only learned that older in age. I didn't know that, when I was 15, 16 years old. I had no clue. I always wondered what was in them binders. And then one day I found out, and a whole different world took on for me at that point. So you get the NES.
Got the NES, yes.
And you had a local video store that you would get games from and stuff. What was the first console that you bought with your own money? First Nintendo console you bought with your own money?
The Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance. Mm-hmm. So you were...
Wait, did the Game Boy or GameCube come out before that? Because I bought the GameCube. Whichever one of those came out first.
I thought you know what? That's a good question. I don't know. But I'm immediately jealous of you because you're obviously a privileged kid that, like, I had to buy my Game Boy, my original Game Boy, and my dad yelled at me when I bought it. Super Nintendo, my mom bought it for me. And 64 was the first one I had to buy for myself. So you got lucky enough that they hooked you up all the way up until...
Yeah, well, what we would do, me and my brother, we would just trade in all our Nintendo stuff from the NES and get the Super NES, and then do that moving forward.
How dumb were we to do that?
Oh, so dumb.
And now it's like you're chasing your childhood to like get some of this stuff back, and it's like, what?
I still got my Virtual Boy though, so I guess.
Man, we were just talking about this last night on If We Ran Nintendo. That was the conversation we kind of led into. I basically, the topic, it'll come out in the day or either today or tomorrow or something like that. But on If We Ran Nintendo, the topic was what would we have done differently with the Virtual Boy in terms of, will we have delayed the launch? What would we have done differently with Gunpei? Like, because his story is very tragic, in my opinion. All these different things we kind of threw out there. So I talk about that like I regret not getting a Virtual Boy like that, just for some reason, not because I would have played it. And and maybe it's better I didn't get it at that age when it came out, because I probably wouldn't have respected it. You know what I mean? And it probably would have ended up in the dumpster someplace. But what can you do?
Did you guys decide you would just put it out in color instead of black and red?
We had a lot of conversations. I don't want to spoil the show. We had a lot of conversations.
No spoiler warning. Yeah, right.
we had a lot of conversations on that show. That was interesting to say the least. It was a fun chat. So at this point the question is what of all the consoles, Nintendo consoles, is your favorite Nintendo console?
My favorite of all of them, besides the Switch, I would say...
Switch, you're not allowed to say Switch, because everybody, that's everybody's like, oh, I love the Switch, but but it's still too early to tell. So we got to go the greatest of all time.
Okay, the greatest of all time, I'll say the Nintendo DS.
Really?
Yeah, does that count?
No, I want to bet it. It counts. That's curious though. Why is that your favorite Nintendo console?
I just really like the touchscreen and the way they use the touchscreen with a lot of the games. And they use the two screens really well. You could close it to do certain things and then open it back up.
Yeah.
But
it was very I would say
plus you can play Game Boy Advance games on it.
Yes, it was. That's the one thing Nintendo was very, very good at. backwards compatibility in Nintendo's life. And the crazy thing is like, you looked at Sony, and at the time Xbox, neither of them did backwards compatibility. And when they first started talking about not doing backwards compatibility for the Switch, like, people lost their minds, man. People were like, what are you talking about, no backwards compatibility? And my thought was like, well, you guys didn't buy the Wii U anyway, so what are you talking about? That was number one. And then number two, I mean, technically we are backwards compatible now, like, because they're putting everything out.
You just got to pay per game.
Yeah, you just got to pay per game. It's rather than just going like, hey, the games you own, you can slide over here. It would have been nice if, I know it was rumored at one point that Nintendo was going to do, like, some type of buyback program. It would have been nice if they would have been like, hey, if you have Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, we'll give you a couple bucks towards it, you know, as like a trade-in thing. But I understand why they didn't, because, you know, it is what it is. But so the DS is your favorite console of all time. What's some of your favorite?
It's kind of ridiculous when you say it back to me.
Well, I'm glad, because I'm hoping you'll change your mind, because I think it's a ridiculous statement to say. It's as bad as Josh with not beating Mario. Like, that's sort of the level you are right now. No,
all right. Well,
no, because look, to me, it's a great console. I didn't buy the original DS when it came out, the big bulky clamshell one. I didn't buy that one, and it wasn't until, man, I think Animal Crossing hit the DS that I finally was like, okay, I want to check this thing out. I want to see what this thing's all about. But I respect what you're saying, because there were so many good games that hit that console. You know, and I mean, if you look at Nintendo the way they look at, like, hey, the DS family is the 3DS as well, you know, as well as that, like, I view the two as two separate things. You know, but for me, it's like, this is kind of cool. Here's a question for you: do you feel like the 2DS XL is really just a DS? I don't know why they call it the 2DS XL.
Yeah,
just call it the DS XL. That's all you gotta say. Like, I don't understand this whole 2DS XL thing. They're ingenious with their names. That's the one thing. Like, why don't they go to you and be like, Chris, your Twitter handle is perfect. How exactly can you name a couple of these consoles for us? You know what I mean? Like,
yes, the Nintendo Switch, because you switch back and forth. There you go.
That one. It was funny because I remember at the time when that came out, everybody was like, well, what's it going to be called? And I was like leaning heavily, like, they got to go like NES2 or something like that. Like
NES2.
Yeah. Or Super Nintendo.
Now you can't get mad at me about the DS anymore after that.
No, come on, dude. The Super Nintendo 2 or something like that. Like, that was my thinking. My thinking was like, don't have an original, because I was so scared they were going to be like Wii U 2 or, you know what I mean? Like that, or new Wii U or something like that. Like, that scared me. So I was like, well, if they go to one, if they're going to lean on something, and to be honest with you, it kind of shocked me that the Wii U was a thing, because they don't ever double dip on a name. They normally are always changing the names for the most part. Their handhelds, they got a little weird with that stuff.
Well, yeah, they had the NES, then the Super NES.
Yeah.
Then they had the Game Boy Color. So they keep the name sort of, kind of,
yeah. But like the N64, although there was a time that, so you had the NES, or the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then you had the Super Nintendo. There was a time when it was going to be called the Ultra Nintendo, or the Ultra 64 was what they were leaning towards. So, which then basically in copyright that Konami had blocked that. When you, in terms of like old school games, what's some stuff that like really hits you in the heart that you're like, man, this is a franchise that like I love and I gotta be around?
Ones that are still around, or ones that
just
really
whatever. Like,
what
are just some old school franchises that you look at and you go like, man, I love these things. Like, these are things that, you know, spark nostalgia for me, more or less.
Punch-Out.
Sir, you are making me fall in love with you by the second. Like, seriously. Like, dude, look at my coaster, man. This is my coaster right now.
Look at my arm. Hold on. I got my
Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. You got to be kidding me. You beat me. That's your name. I pull out a coaster and this guy pulls out a King Hippo tattoo. Like, oh my god, that's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
We got to talk Punch-Out now. Now we got to talk Punch-Out. This is the thing now. So, okay, let's talk your Punch-Out story. What's your how does it come about for you? Like, how do you fall in love with that game and all that?
It was just the game that I read about in the Nintendo Power, and so then when it came out, that's the game I was asking for. Yeah. And I got it, and just it's back in the day we had like that one game, and then we just played it over and over again, and that's what I was doing with Punch-Out.
So, I'm gonna ask you, do you know the code?
I don't know the code.
Are you serious? See, I got you there.
Yeah, you got me there. I don't
00737355963. Don't need to look at nothing. It's all here because that's muscle memory. It's just putting in over and over.
I didn't need the code, so you know what I mean. So
wow,
that's probably why.
Wow, really? Don't even try that, dude. Don't even try that. You know what? Okay, I see where you're going with this. Did you beat Tyson?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I beat Tyson and Mr. Dream.
I beat Mr. Dream as well. I mean, it's basically the same exact thing. It's not like it's the same.
Just palette swap.
It's just it's palette swap or whatever. I remember the first time I saw Punch-Out in the store without Mike Tyson on it, and I thought it was a new game.
It was a sequel.
I thought it was a sequel, and I almost bought it. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's all got all the same boxers, but who's this white guy? And I'm like, do I get it? Do I not? And then I was like, no, I'm not getting it. I'm not going to get it. And then I found out later that it was, that it wasn't basically a sequel to Punch-Out. Right. When's the last time you beat Tyson or Mr. Dream?
I believe when it came onto the 3DS Virtual Console.
Okay. Did you beat it legit? Or did you have to do like save states and stuff?
Yeah, because I didn't know the code, so I just started at the beginning.
You just could have called me up, Chris. You could be like, Bobby, what's the code? I'd be like, oh, you want that code? Okay, here you go. Like,
yeah, I should have known. I would have hit you up.
Yeah, it's here, man. It's a sickness. Like I can't remember my own phone number sometimes, but that, like clockwork, got it down. Like it's sad. I know my phone number, but like other people, I could tell you friends of mine that don't know their cell phone numbers or their phone numbers at all, and
yeah, I don't know anyone.
I mean, pretty much, cell phones have made us dummies. Ultimately, like I used to remember everybody's phone number because you had to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you broke down the side of the road and you were able to walk to a phone booth somewhere. Like you had to know phone numbers or you were SOL, man. It was
now our phones remember everything for us, so we don't have to.
We're done. Technology makes us stupid. Mm-hmm. You know? So when you beat it, you went from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. On the 3DS, yeah. What was that? No, yeah, it was just the regular 3DS. I was thinking.
No. Oh yeah, it was.
Super
NES
games.
Super NES games were. So you.
Wait, do you say SNES or Super NES?
I say S. Oh my god! Now you're gonna put me on the spot. I say Super Nintendo or SNES. Yeah. I don't do SNES. SNES is Europe. Don't do it, Chris.
I don't do SNES.
Okay.
SNES.
Okay, good. You're a smart man. You're a smart man. And when Nintendo came out, like what, a couple months ago, and they were like, "It's NES." No, it's not, man. It's not. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's NES because NES means Nintendo Entertainment System. We never called it the NES. Nobody called it the NES. Like Europe didn't even know what the NES was before. They didn't know that the NES existed because they were too hepped up on Genesis and other garbage consoles out there. They didn't get to. They didn't get it until Super Nintendo. What? So I'm gonna stick with this Punch Out thing because
Okay.
because I don't get to talk Punch Out with nobody. Nobody
Well,
knows.
there's not that many people that talk about
There's
it. Yeah.
not that many people that know the greatest game that ever was. Like it's just um, who's your favorite boxer in that game?
I think maybe just because I like his name, Soda Popinski.
That is, dude. And that game is so like not kid friendly. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah, no.
Like, dude, it's like the guy's drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're calling it Soda Popinski, but it's beer, man. He's drinking. It's essentially he's Russian. He's
Yeah, what's his name in Japan? What is it? Vodka
Kaiser von
Zinski?
Yeah, something like
that.
Yeah, it's some. That's the other thing. That game is the most racist game in the world.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like it is like bad.
The one on the Wii didn't really make it much better.
No, they leaned heavily into some stuff on the Wii. For me, probably Piston Honda was my favorite, and I think the reason why I liked him so much was because he looked and moved so much like Tyson that I would actually practice him over and over and over and over again, to just because I felt in my mind he looked so much like him, movement wise and things that he would do, that like by the time I would get to Tyson visually, I wouldn't be so afraid of Tyson. Didn't matter. Like
Right.
The guy would knock me down 3 times in like 9 seconds, and I'd be like, "What the hell just happened here?"
Yeah, he'll get you fast.
I will say this: I respect the fact that you beat Tyson without the code. Like, I think what you accomplished is greater than what I accomplished. Seriously. Because, dude, you get to him and you lose, and you got to go back 2 fighters and work your way back up again. Like, most of those matches, when you lose to somebody, you basically fight them again in a rematch. And then if you lose, you go down. But with Tyson, you lose, it drops you down to Sandman.
Yeah.
And then you got to go Super Macho Man, and then you got to go Tyson again. Because that's the dream fight. That's not really a title fight. And, dude, that's just unbelievable. And then although they have codes, so if you do come back, you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. But you still got to go through 4 or 5 guys before you can get to them.
Yeah.
Although, if you're that good, which I'm sure you were, you can zip right through them guys and get right to.
Oh yeah.
You can get to
Glass Joe gives me trouble, but other than that,
if Glass Joe gives anybody trouble, I feel bad. I feel bad for your life, man, because you are not a Nintendo player. Super Punch Out. What's your thoughts on that game?
Super Punch Out. Actually, I barely played Super Punch Out.
Are you kidding me? Really?
I didn't like the way Little Mac looked.
Well, it really wasn't Little Mac.
Yeah, no. I like Little Mac, and I didn't like it as much. I played through it once it was on the new 3DS because I like my games portably, so I have more time to play it and go through it.
Yeah.
And a lot of Punch Out is memorizing the patterns and everything of the fighters, so I could do that more on the road. Well, not on the road, but I could just take my 3DS to work with me and do it there.
Makes sense.
But yeah, but the one on the Wii though, I played through that and made it through to Donkey Kong.
Did you really?
Yeah.
See that one, and maybe I just maybe it's just a different time in my life. Definitely didn't like the controls on it. Hated the controller. I mean, maybe if they brought that game over to the Switch, I might give it a more serious look. I hated the controls. I hated turning the controller to the side. I hated playing like that. Just didn't feel comfortable. But the thing that really threw me off with that game for some reason was you go through and you beat everybody, right? And it's like, but then you got to go back through them again, and they completely change their style.
Oh, yeah.
And you're limited to how many losses you can have, and then you got to start all over again.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God. So I just didn't have the patience to go through that second run through. I got decently far in it, but definitely I did like the idea of doing a second run. I just didn't like the idea of if you lose, it's done. You got to start over, do the first run all over again, and then go into the second run. And it was like, that's stupid. Because it basically, like, null and void your save state, kind of.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, you didn't do it? Okay, this is done. You can't do anything anymore. And I was like, that's stupid. Like, give us the ability to, like, learn the fighters. Because that's the other thing. Like, you lose to a guy, sometimes it could take you 10, 12 fights to really figure out his patterns
and things like that, yeah.
But when you're giving somebody like 3, 4 fights and that's it, like done, like that's not fun. Then it becomes, to me, you're making the game hard just for the sake of making it hard.
Right. It's not even an arcade game, so you don't need to make it that hard.
No, exactly.
You're not trying to get quarters out of me.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
So you're saying it's like the Dark Souls of boxing games? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So
it was like the first roguelike.
Pretty much. So you beat Mr. Dream in that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then...
and the twins.
Yeah. And then what was it? My Nintendo or Club Nintendo?
Club Nintendo put out...
You could play against Doc
Lewis. Yes.
Yeah. So that's the one I picked that year.
Mm-hmm. I didn't pick that one, but I wound up buying that one later because they put it up for sale.
Right. If I knew that, I would have picked the other one. And then I would have...
That's kind of BS, honestly. Because I will say, though, it's one of the first times Nintendo did DLC, you know?
Right.
And it was kind of a cool DLC, you know? Like, you get to fight Doc Lewis, and it was pretty neat. So you beat Donkey Kong as well.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Donkey Kong was just randomly thrown in there, right? There wasn't no, like, rhyme or reason to where he showed up.
There. Yeah. If you beat it the second time, then you could play Donkey Kong.
And he was tough.
Yeah, he was.
I do remember fighting Donkey Kong once. And I was like, he beat me so fast. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I had my fun. I did what I want to accomplish. I beat it the first time through. If I was younger, definitely, I would have stuck with that game and kept playing and playing and playing. Because, I mean, ultimately, that's how I beat Tyson the first time. That's how I did all that. Because it just became this thing where I just fell in love and wanted to continue to play it over and over. And like you said, too, back then, like, it wasn't like... When you're a kid, it's like you get one game every couple of months if you're lucky.
Right.
You know.
And Nintendo didn't have 20 indie games coming out on the eShop every week.
Right? What's up with that? Like, oh my God, dude, I can't keep up with what's going on right now. I mean, we kind of joke, but it's true. Like, it's like I can't figure out whether I'm coming or going right now. Like, I log in on Thursdays. And it's like, what just happened here? Someone just... And for people that are like, oh, no, the eShop, it's fine. They don't need to readjust it. Like, no, they do.
Right,
like,
yeah.
You can't figure out what's new, what's old. Like, it's gone in a week. Like, something comes up, and a week later, it's done.
You don't check the eShop for 2 weeks, and next thing you know, you got, like 50 games to check.
Right? That's crazy, dude. We couldn't even get 50 games in the lifetime of the Wii U. And we're getting...
Right, yeah.
Like in a month, it's 50 games on the Switch. So we discussed this a little bit. Like, you had messaged me privately and was like, hey, man, I don't know what kind of a garbage show you run, but I would like to...
Pretty much verbatim what I said.
But if we get a chance, I'd like to talk about this N64 Classic and whatever. So you dropped some knowledge on me today that I totally missed because I... basically woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, tried to move a refrigerator, came back home, and decided to sleep for 4 hours. And then...
Did you move it?
Did I what?
Did you get to move it? Did you move the fridge?
Yeah, that is not fun.
No.
That is like garbage. I had to take the doors off, and then it's like...
Get them through the other door.
Yeah, it's like, this is nonsense, dude. Like, who came up with this concept of, like, Just make the thing fit through a doorway. That's it. Like, this is nonsense. This is crazy. Yeah. Like, there's got to be a better way, people. Like, whoever...
Get a fridge, build the house around it.
Yes. Well, that seems like what they did in these parts. Because, man, this thing is massive. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. But the funny thing is I didn't realize I was going to take the doors off, right? So we go to my mom's house, me and my buddy. I go, rent a truck, go to my mom's house, get to the house, and I'm like, we're going to take it through. Let's go. And we get there, and I was like, missing it by like a little bit. And it's so annoying, dude. It's like,
when you get that close.
Yeah, it's like, it's there, man. Like, just go. Let me just grease this thing up and push it through. Like, come on. So, I didn't bring tools. Because I'm thinking, like, I'll be able to get it out. It's not going to be a big deal. Nope. So then my mom's like, oh, I only got these couple of tools. Nothing I need. So then we're off to the hardware store. Going to try to find... But then me and my buddy, because we're idiots, we start Pokemon Go playing on the way to the hardware store. And... What's that?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay. Oh, I saw your lips moving, but nothing coming out. And
yeah.
You pulled the thing of, like, let's mute for a second, but Bobby talks to you anyway. And then, like, so we're working our way to the hardware store, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, here's a big park with some Pokestops and some gyms. Let's hit this real quick. And we go in, and we're doing our stuff, and it's like, okay, we're good now. Let's get down to the hardware store, get to the hardware store. And my mom's like, you've been gone for so long. And I was like, yeah, we went to the library and started, Pokemon Go playing. She's like, there's a refrigerator here, man. Let's go. Like, what are you doing? So that was my day, pretty much. So basically you had said that before we went live that today is actually the 22nd?
22 years ago today. The N64 came out in America.
Yes. So it kind of brought up this idea of you wanted to talk about the N64 Classic.
Right, yeah.
And whether or not... I'll just ask, do you think we're going to get it?
I think we will get it, yeah. I don't know how good it's going to be, since I think the N64 aged really poorly.
As poorly as the PS1?
PS1, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So of all the... So, to be fair, I guess it's a fair assessment to say, like, of all the classics, this is probably not one you're too excited about.
Well, yeah, but it's still Nintendo, so I'll still get it. And let my kids try it out. And they can be like, this is great, Dad, thanks.
Yeah, you sound like me. Except for I don't have the kids. So you sound like me, and it's like, it's Nintendo, I'll buy it, because I'm an idiot. But,
right. You'll have it in the background over there somewhere.
It'll just sitting back there with my somewhere over here.
Unplugged where it belongs,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to start a topic.
Chris, we want Virtual Console, Chris. We want Virtual Console. Oh, here's a classic. Okay, put it on my shelf. I want Virtual Console. Dude,
yeah,
idiot.
where's the Virtual Console?
Go plug that thing in and you can play all you want. Like, no. I gotta have it on the Switch. Like,
right.
Like,
I do want Virtual Console. I want to be able to play Superman 64 on my Switch. I don't want to have to plug in my N64 Classic for it.
You think you're gonna get that?
Superman? No, I don't think that'll be on there. I hope it won't.
Come on, you don't want that?
That'll be right there on the box, just filled with the green fog, the kryptonite fog. Yeah, hope not.
Oh my god, what such a bad game. I mean, you have the usual suspects that, of course, everybody wants to get. So my question to you is, what's something that you want that, like, you don't think anybody else wants?
Well, I'm sure some people want it, but I really want Mischief Makers.
The hell is that?
What the heck? It's a 2D. It's like made by Treasure.
Okay.
And it's a 2D kind of platformer.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Let me rephrase. Chris, we're gonna rewind. Okay, Chris, what's a good game that you want that you don't think?
Oh, good game.
Yeah,
All
a good
right.
game, a good game. Not obscure games. I'm not looking for you to like. Let's throw out these things to prove that I'm very smart. And I played some really
No, but that's a really good game. That was
a hidden gem.
Treasure made it. Yeah, Treasure made it. I think Nintendo published it in America.
Hmm.
They published it themselves, I think, in Japan, maybe. But yeah, that was really good. And then, I guess, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty much the only N64 game I really look forward to playing on this thing.
You think? Do you think it'll make its way to it though?
No. But you know what I would really like?
What's
One game that, like, one of the games, you know how, like, over the years there's been games that they announce and then cancel.
Yes.
But the one game that I really wanted the most that got canceled was Earthbound 64.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not done, but that would be nice if they just had like a small little demo of it.
Could you imagine if they did that? Because the demo was available. The demo was made.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
They had it at trade shows. Yeah.
They got it up and running. Man, you say that, and you literally just gave me chills when you said that. Because I love Mother. I love Earthbound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have behind me back there. I don't know if you can see. I have Mother. I got my chair's blocking it. I got Mother 1 and 2 Japanese copies of the games, complete in box. I have so much stuff. I have the album in the other room. Like, I love that series. I love that franchise. I love the music. Love the games. Like, everything about Earthbound and Mother, I love. The idea of that happening is pretty... I mean, they did it with Star Fox. So it's a very likely thing that they do. Could you imagine?
That would be amazing, yeah. And I don't have any Mother tattoos. Don't worry, I'm not going to one up you.
Luke, I'm going to beat him at something. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let him beat me at everything.
My nest. Here's my nest tattoo.
I'm going to go get Mike Tyson tattooed on my left buttocks. And let's just... That is a great idea. I love that idea. Never, you know what? And because they did it with Star Fox, it leans into why wouldn't you? So many people want Mother 3, and essentially that's what Mother 3 is that game. Is Earthbound 64.
Because if you see the screenshots and the video,
yeah,
you can see where it translated to that in the GBA game.
Yeah. Have you played that game at all in the GBA?
Yeah, I did. I didn't beat it, but I did play it, like the translated version.
I bought the translated version. I started playing. I got a good portion of the way through. My problem was I hated playing on that little postage stamp.
Were you playing it on the micro?
I was playing it on the DS, the original DS, not the original clamshell one, the other one. It was a clamshell one, but not the DS Lite. That's how I was playing on. It just was so small. But my buddy, I should have bought. And I didn't even think about it. I should have bought it. He had a Game Boy player for the GameCube, and I should have bought it and hooked it up to my TV and played it like that, because I probably would have enjoyed it a lot. That game, man, out the gates, hits the heartstrings and really,
it's really good.
The game is really good, man. Like, I pray that game eventually finds its way to North America, because I want to. I stopped playing it because of that reason. I'm like, man, I just want this game, but I want this game so badly. I would love it on the Switch. Emily Roberts, she promised us it like years ago. When she said it was coming, and I'm still waiting for that leak to come true. Like, it's
all you got to do is say it's coming, and then when it does come,
then you go,
told you.
Yeah, I'm right. I told you. I said it.
I didn't give a year.
Yeah, give it more than a year. Give it like 6 years, and it'll be here.
It'll be on the Super Switch. It'll be...
Exactly. What else?
But that's what I want. Games. I want games that never came to America, like the F-Zero stuff for the 64DD,
Oh yeah.
and like they had SimCity, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll see that there. But
That would be. I mean, it would be nice if they leaned into that stuff. I'm wondering if they do, an N64. If Japan does get like a 64DD type thing for it,
that'd be nice. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool to
you
see.
could get
Like,
Doshin the Giant on there.
do a lot
Yeah.
of stuff with that because I'm going to add
Mario Paint, you'd have to get the mouse, but
Yeah. Do you have a 64DD or no?
no, I don't. But I want one.
Yeah, I do too.
So if anyone has one, feel free to send it my way.
I so badly, and now it's on the radar now that now that I'm not married, is to go to Japan. I want to go so badly. It's not even funny, and I was scared to go. And there's a guy. So I have this retro video game store that I go to all the time. It's called Next Level Games in New Jersey. A friend of mine, Nick Militia, owns it, and he does this block party once every couple months. And he's got a guy that comes in that his wife is Japanese and she lives in Japan. Well, she lived in Japan, and they go back occasionally to like visit her family. And he goes like once every 6 months or whatever. And he'll go and he'll buy up a bunch of retro stuff and then bring it here and then sell it at conventions and stuff. So that's actually where I got Mother 2 and Mother 3 was off of him. And I told him, now you need to get me Mother 1 complete in box. Because he pulled out a cartridge. I'm like, no. You don't sell me the complete in box of the other two. And then try to pawn me off with a cartridge. Like, no, this ain't happening. Go to Japan, find it for me. That's your mission. So he's like, okay, I'll get it for you. I'll find it. But I want to go back so bad. I want to go, not back. I want to go so badly. So part of me's like, wants me to hit him up and be like, hey man, if I go, will you go with me to like take me around and show me where I should be buying stuff, and where I should, because the crazy thing about Japan is, dude, they keep their stuff pristine. Like it's insane. Like I look at these boxes for Mother 2 and Mother 3, and it's like even the paperwork that's in it is perfect, like not out of place at all. And it's like, dude, United States, you can't even find a regular Mario box. Like you can't find Mario 3 complete in box in good shape.
No, because you spilled your Slurpee on the box.
Because we're scumbags. Like, or your sister sat on the box and broke it, and it's like,
yes, she did. You know what I mean?
So it's like it's one of these weird things that always happens, and it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So, I mean, my fear for the N64 Classic is it's going to be classic Nintendo is going to price it probably $100 and probably give us 10 games if we're lucky.
How many controllers?
I think we get one controller.
One? You can't just give one controller.
Nintendo can do whatever they want.
They get the Super NES. They give us two.
Listen, you're asking for a lot. You think they're going to give you two controllers?
I think they're going to give you two, make you buy the other two if you want 4 players.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think they're going to have 4 slots in this thing?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, see, I like how you say probably.
There's a possibility.
Because I think what they're going to do is they're going to do the old... they're going to do the old, here's the face, and you flip it down, and then the ports are in.
2 slots.
And then there's 2 slots inside. So it's 4 on the outside. When you flip it down, there's 2 on the inside. How pissed would you be?
I would kind of laugh at that. That would...
Okay. How pissed would the internet be?
Oh, yeah, they would be very mad. Yeah.
They would lose their minds, man.
And especially if they only get 10 games with it.
Sadly, I just...
10 games?
I think so. Maybe 11. Maybe they'll give you 10 plus the Earthbound 64 demo.
I think we'll get 20 games.
You really think you're going to get more? You're going to get as many games you got on the SNES Classic?
Yes. How many did we get on the I don't even remember.
SNA Classic was 15. Or no, 21. 21.
So we'll get 20 plus the
You're insane.
mischief makers.
I think, Chris, I think you're a good guy. I think you are smarter than this. I think you're letting your fanboy stretch his legs a little bit.
Living the dream here.
Yeah,
I'm living the dream. I'm just
that's
wake me up when it's announced with 5 games, 1 controller, $120. Yeah,
See, now you're thinking realistically. Now you come back to reality, man.
Yeah.
You've landed back on planet Earth, and you know the real SuperNintenDad was talking previously, and now Chris is talking. Chris is Chris is like, okay, now reality clicks in.
They're gonna sell 1 this year.
Yeah.
With without the expansion pack. Then the next one will be next year with the expansion pack.
And they'll actually sell you a Star Fox game with a Rumble pack inside of it.
And they still won't have Smash Brothers 64 in it.
Do you think, man? Could you imagine if they did that? People would be so pissed, man. Like,
I think people will be pissed no matter what they announce.
I agree. I think that it does not matter what happens with this thing. They could give you the 10 best games that ever hit that console, and people will still complain that it's missing this or it doesn't have that or why doesn't it have this or all that stuff.
Yeah, but part of the problem is some of the best games on that system are licensed games.
Yeah.
So
like Rogue Squad, like Luke
Rogue
just said,
Squadron.
Rogue Squadron ain't coming. Guaranteed that's not going to be there.
We're not going to see the WWF No Mercy, that's for sure.
Oh man, that hurts me too. I would love that, dude. If they announce that alone, they could sell that thing for $150. And if they put that on there, and that's all they have, they could just be like, "This is the No Mercy machine. This is what it is. Here it is, $150. This is the Bobby Pauls."
Instead of releasing WWE 2K19, we're gonna release the N64 Classic with WWF No Mercy.
I would be happier because newsflash, WWE 2K18 was a steaming pile.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good game for me to delete off of my hard drive or my micro SD card.
Was that horrible?
Yeah, it was really bad.
Like
I mean, it's not that it's any good on the Xbox or the PS4.
Yeah. But it was just so bad.
What we need on the Switch is Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yes. See, man, you are my dude. Man, you're making me fall in love with you by the second here, man. Like you're just hitting me right here in the heart with all these comments.
Well, you know. And then every once in a while I throw the DS as my favorite system at you.
That game I would love. I would love. Yeah, you know what? I know. It's like
Nintendogs. Think about it. Just think about it. Nintendogs.
Didn't they just announce that?
What?
Nintendogs.
What they announced?
Something got announced yesterday. Some Nintendogs thing. Yeah.
They were probably just reminding you that it exists.
Possibly. Because the Fire Pro, that's got Kenny Omega in it, right?
In America, yeah. And then, but that's on PS4 and PC right now.
Yeah, I won't buy it on either one.
But they said they were considering, the Switch after it comes out on the PS4.
You give me that game, and I will legitimately just lose my mind. That game, because that's No Mercy. That's the same company or the same development team that made No Mercy, made WrestleMania 2000. I would love to have them guys work on this.
Isn't it some of the same people that made Pro Wrestling on the NES, I believe? Was
it really? Them too?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. That's
I was trying to go way back, so you would know what I was talking about.
Wise ass.
Yeah.
You bring back the Marble Madness reference.
Yeah, Marble Madness,
The same developer that made Marble Madness and Pro Wrestler is working on this one. So guys, I'm doing something a little bit different today that I don't normally do. I have a second show lined up at 9 o'clock. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut it a little bit short here with Chris. But Chris, first off, thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
This was an absolute dream. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing this again.
Okay,
I don't know when, but we're going to do it again. That's a given.
Yes.
I'll look at my calendar, and I will schedule you 6 months from now. No, we'll figure. No, seriously, I want to bring you on again where you have more time and we can chat a little bit longer. So basically, just for those that are in the stream, what's going to happen? I'm going to shut the stream down for about 2-3 minutes, let it kind of reset, and then fire back up. And I have Jack Gilbert from Ojo there. He is going to come on. He's going to talk about the Ojo projector, the new Bluetooth speaker that they have coming out. We're going to have a little fun chat with him a little bit. But Chris, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Please let everybody know where they can find you and all that good stuff. And
Oh yeah, I'm SuperNintenDad, pretty much everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, I believe. And before I go, real quick, what is one Smash Brothers character you want that hasn't been announced yet?
Man, good question. I wanted Shovel Knight.
Oh yeah,
but they kind of jacked me off on that one.
Watch that, yeah.
Yeah. Who? I don't want Tom Nook. Because I don't know why they put Isabelle in there. That was stupid. I would love, honestly, Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh yeah, Banjo-Kazooie would be good.
Yeah, I would really like that if they brought Banjo-Kazooie in there. Beyond that, maybe one of the boys from Double Dragon.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I want to take it back. For me, I want it to go old school stuff. What about you?
I would want King K. Rool Echo and have him be King Hippo.
Damn you, man! Damn you! that is a genius.
Because he's got the crown, he throws the crown, he's got the boxing gloves.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Just make him an Echo.
That ain't gonna happen. But that is a nice pull.
Yeah.
That's a really nice pull.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
I'll ask Roger. I'll have Roger put in.
Yeah, have Roger put a good word in with
Yeah.
Nintendo and make it happen. So
all right, sounds good.
So that is all. Thank you guys for checking today's episode out of Nintendo Talk Live. If you're here, you want to watch the next one, be sure to stick around. I should be back in about 5 minutes with Jack Gilbert from Ojo. Again, Chris, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate
Thanks for having
this. Me. And I will see you all in about 5 minutes. Peace out, Preston.